Okay, greetings everybody. Keith here. Hoping everybody's having a good day, enjoying life or living life or loving life. Coming at you tonight with a live from my phone. Um, some of you may have heard I'm going to get into the auditing thing in a sense. I'm not particularly a First Amendment auditor, nor am I against the government. I want to play a part of in between to help the auditors learn how the government actually runs, as well as help the government discern what we're actually trying to affect within these communities, and that is the rightness of the words that we're using. I think both the auditors and the government, um, as it relates to the public education system, which I speak on quite a bit, um, is a little off. I think we have a lot of people that don't know how to communicate, and therefore I'm hoping I can be an intermediary in that. Knowing my past record and the way it looks, and of course, all of the supposed violent actions that I've been through in my life, as that record portrays, certainly isn't a correct record. And so that's part of my part in it, as correcting my records and how it relates to me and the rest of the community. Like I said at the council meeting, I'm not a resident and I'm not a United States citizen, as those terms are defined. And I think that's the main delusion that most people have. And again, that goes to the public education system that doesn't teach us anything about our civil venues and how they operate. And that's one of the most important things for a people to be able to govern its government. But we need to know how the government runs. And this is why I said if we're going to stand up in a militia forum to rise up in a civil unrest against the government in any way, the only way we could do that would be to know how to set that government up again once we throw off that despotic government. And that's what it's getting to. Like I said in the meeting again, we are slowly becoming Hitler's willing executioners. So in the meantime, like I said, my meeting with the city council went fine, but my little recording device that I used um, isn't quite up to par. It doesn't have any volume to it to be able to hear anything. It's got some volume, but it's so low that it's almost worthless. So I'm using my phone now, but on StreamYard on my phone, despite the fact that I've got a subscription on the laptop, it's not allowing me access to the subscription um, through the phone. So if anybody's familiar with how to do that through the phone, please let me know, because otherwise it's saying that this will not be recorded. So I'm hoping it's showing up live on my Facebook or my uh, YouTube sites, but it's only allowing me to do it on El Perro rather than multiple streaming to multiple sites or multiple channels like my subscription is supposed to allow. So anybody's got any information on that, please let me know. And hopefully you'll hit this before it's over, because like I said, it's telling me it's not going to record it. So we'll see how it happens. Let me pull it up on YouTube here, see what's going on there, because it should show that I'm live. Yeah, it's showing that I'm live there. Yes. And greetings, Jay. Is it and healing journeys. Thank you. I appreciate that. Um, so it's just a matter of finding out how I can access that subscription on my phone. So if anybody knows that, has experience in doing that, please let me know. In the meantime, like I said, it's a learning experience for me going forth. It's a little change in the venue that been doing for the last 8 years, which has been strictly to research and then put that information out. And now I'm going to be going forth out into the community. Like I said, I've got a meeting set up with the mayor on Thursday at 2 o'clock. So I'll go in and I'll speak to him briefly, let him know my intent in doing all of this and what I've done in the past, and show him a little evidence of what I'm talking about. And hopefully we'll have access to that equity that I've been talking about. If you want equity, you must first bring equity. And so I've got to announce myself as the benefactor. And we know in equity, the beneficiary is deemed to be the true owner. And if the benefactor is the one giving to the beneficiary, then I certainly have a principal interest in it. And that's what we're talking about. So hopefully, as I go forward with this stuff, um, I'll be able to do it on my phone, mobile, and show you how some of these audits should be done according to my interpretation. Again, like I said, as an intermediary between the auditors and the people that they're um, journaling about. 'Cause that's truly what it is. These people get asked, what are you doing?" Words out of my mouth would be to create a private record. I'm creating a private record. And that's something that they can't violate. Again, that's your right to record in public. You're creating a private record. In that private record, if you come across evidence of crimes, you have a duty. You have a duty to offset that. You have a duty to make what's right that which is wrong. And it's no greater and no less than any other law enforcement. And this is why we have those laws that say you can defend yourself against an unlawful arrest, even to the death, because that's our ultimate responsibility. Our ultimate duty is to keep the government in line, not to let them purport that we're the ones that need to be kept in line and do it by a hard hand of military enforcement. So that's why it's important to understand my journey. Despite the 94 cases and despite me telling you that I was fingering them and cussing and swearing at them, calling them communist bastards, that's not actually the way to act. And that's what I've been learning in the last 8 years. That my fault in it was my own behaviors, not just in my adult life, but in the public education system, again, wherein I was indoctrinated. And then once I got to be of an age of majority and knew that there was distinctly something wrong, rather than doing something about it, I lived with the same convenience and comfort that everybody else did, not wanting to put myself in hardship when that's the point of it. We're living in all this cognitive dissonance of comfort and convenience in wants and desires. And that's one of the things the scripture speaks against. When your cup is overflowing, you're supposed to let it flow over into others. We have a hard time doing that if we're not allowed to let our cup fill. And that's the part of the government holding us back. This is the same thing with the public education system that says leave no child behind. That's a false premise, because while they're not leaving any child behind, they're not letting anybody advance. And that's the problem. We have a general education system that allows for the public at large to have an average reading comprehension of seventh or eighth grade. That cannot be a solid, strengthy, or strong government, nor can it be healthy. It's to our own detriment. And that's because we don't hold our morals above our comforts. So, again, just a live test to see how this is going to work in regards to um, YouTube and being able to save any content from lives on my phone, because my other device doesn't bring enough volume. So in the meantime, I want to appreciate it, show everybody appreciation for your support again. Um, I need it just like you need it. It's a matter of where you're getting that support. If you're getting it from the government, you're probably not getting support. And if you're in the right position, you're the one that supports the government. And remember that term, support. It actually stands for supplemental porting, something superior, something greater. And this is all I'm talking about. The facts in the record may be true, but if they're not, then there's an error that needs to be corrected. And in that correction is when you bring those supplemental truths, the things that are truths that help bring that record up to integrity. Because again, if the record is in error, then it doesn't have integrity. It goes to the weakest chain or weakest link in the chain, means the whole chain is weak. And we're the weak ones. We're the ones bowing down and subjecting ourselves to this for that convenience and comfort. And it's only through the hardships that make us strong. So think about this and remember that as I go forth and hopefully convince you to go forth. One of the biggest concepts of Big Brother keeping an eye on us can be used against them by keeping an eye on them. This is our inherent, ultimate responsibility so that our brothers that aren't capable of governing themselves aren't being taken advantage of. And again, that goes to the premise you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. You feed him or teach him how to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. But the true principle, again, is the foundation of knowledge that once he has that knowledge, the parable of the talent steps in. You're not supposed to bury it. You're not supposed to hide it. You're supposed to bring it forth and teach that talent to somebody else. That's the inherent premise of my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. So again, that's all I'm going forth is bringing the supplemental knowledge, the supplemental truths, the greater truths that prove or have or show evidence that what we are doing is wrong. And that's why I say we're slowly becoming Hitler's willing executioners. We all have a duty. Don't get lax in it. There really isn't any comfort and convenience in life unless it's your imagination. So think about this. And remember, folks, I love you, but I don't give a rat's ass whether you love me back. And that's to say, I don't care if you don't love me. I don't care if you don't hate me. Or I don't care if you hate me. I don't care if you don't respect me. That's on you. That was my problem. And now there's a distinct learning process going on in me that I will never stop. So may God bless you with knowledge so you too can move forth and help correct this stuff. In the meantime, God bless and have a good night.